From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
It's Tuesday, February 2nd, right now on Good Morning Indiana.
Student loan debt can be crippling, and during this pandemic, making those payments can even be more difficult. Working for you, what the government is doing to offer some relief.
These new variants are more contagious, so you need to protect yourself and your family and your community.
And the local company keeping a close eye on the COVID-19 variants, a test they say is providing key information about the changing virus.
Every single call is different, and no two calls are alike.
And 911 dispatchers can be a lifeline to those most in need. I'll show you the opportunities the Indianapolis Fire Department has available to hire Hoosiers. And here at 6:01, we are on the scene of breaking news right in the downtown area, really impacting traffic for your commute on southbound I-65 as you're heading into the north split from areas north of downtown. Our photographer Shay Goodpaster is pulled over here in the shoulder with first responders. And Shay, you have some more details for us.
That's right, Lauren. As I was coming into work today around 5:30, I noticed the traffic and police were passing me there on 70 to 65 northbound. And obviously you can see right here we got a semi on its side. It's on the 65 southbound side, 70 eastbound side. So right there, just before you get to the Ohio Street, Michigan Street exit. Now, I can tell you, obviously this semi's on its side. There's also a car a little farther west of here that was demolished, and they were cleaning it up. Now, getting through here, you can get through here. You just have to be really careful and weave in and out of stuff. Lots of troopers here, and obviously the cleanup crews are arriving. No word yet on any injuries. Just be safe and slow through here, and you can get through right now, but we don't know how long that'll last. Back to you guys.
Shay, thank you. Of course, we'll continue to monitor that scene and keep you guys updated.
And thank you guys for starting your Tuesday with us here on Good Morning Indiana. Megan Shin, of course, joined by Lauren Casey in the studio, and Raphael working remotely from home.
It is a busy morning. Let's get to your forecast on this Tuesday with Todd Clausen. Good morning, Todd.
Raphael, good morning to you. Good morning, ladies. Good morning, everybody at home. It's a cold morning for us here across the area with temperatures that are in the teens and 20s. So you definitely need to bundle up here this morning because this doesn't tell you the whole story. Let me change the graphic, show you what it really feels like when you factor in the wind that is out there. And it currently feels like only 6 degrees in Muncie. 10 is what it feels like in Indy as well as Peru. And unfortunately, these wind chills are not really going to improve a whole lot throughout the course of the day today. Now, we will have some sunshine to start off our day. All the cloud cover that we have is right here on the western side of the state. The rest of central Indiana, pretty clear this morning. Unfortunately, I do think the clouds will kind of fill back in as the day goes on, but thankfully we're avoiding this massive nor'easter with heavy snow across parts of the northeast. That won't really impact our weather directly any longer. We had some of the snow showers on the back edge of it yesterday, but it will help to continue that chilly northwesterly wind across the area. Not much warming takes place with that northwesterly wind. Again, the brightest part of the day is probably the first half of the day, Lauren, before these clouds build in as we head into the afternoon hours.
Todd, thank you so much. I want to take you back out to this overturned semi crash that we're monitoring here at the North Split. Again, Shay Goodpaster at the scene there showing you the damage. And we know this is in the southbound lanes of I-65 as you're heading through the North Split and getting off there on the collector ramp to Ohio and Michigan Street, an area of some ongoing construction. But you can see here they're working to clear the semi in the right lanes. Traffic still getting by slowly in the left lanes, but this is creating a backup for drivers north of downtown heading into the downtown area. So if you're heading in that direction, maybe get off by 21st Street, even farther back near MLK and take that in. You can also get off the interstate all the way back and take roads like Lafayette Road and 16th Street into the downtown area today. Of course, we're going to be monitoring this and keeping you updated as we learn some new information. Megan?
And we hope no one was hurt in that situation. Thank you, Lauren. Now to the latest on COVID-19. Indiana is continuing to see lower numbers of new cases. Monday's numbers mark the second day in a row the state has reported less than 2,000 cases. More than 628,000 total cases have been reported since the pandemic began. 16 more Hoosiers have also died with the virus, bringing Indiana's death toll to 9,613. Raphael?
Here's another big number this morning, $1.7 trillion. That's roughly the amount of outstanding federal student loan debt Lauren, across the country.
A big number, Raphael, and WRTV's own Kelsey Anderson is joining us this morning with what the government's doing right now and how that impacts your payments.
Whether your federal student loan debt is enough to buy a small house or a small SUV, those payments and interest have been put on pause for the last 10 months, and that will continue through September. On top of the federal student loan pause, President Biden is expected to call on Congress to forgive $10,000 for all federal student loan borrowers, a simplification of what he promised while on the campaign trail. I spoke to two people who have student loan debt with differing opinions on the proposed forgiveness.
The student loan forgiveness, I think the idea is good. I don't think in principle or in practice it's good enough. So there's a lot of ways that this student loan forgiveness, it doesn't go far enough. It's the first step in my eyes.
We look at these individuals that are going to college. Some of them not necessarily chose the right path in college. Some of them I know have incurred additional expenses in college that shouldn't be put on the taxpayers. Frivolous spending.
Now, both Karen and Wheatley agree that changes need to start in high school with planning for college and future career, and changes also need to happen with college institutions with tuition prices and required courses. Working for you, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you. Working for you, we do want to give you an idea of what the current tuition situation looks like at colleges and universities across the state of Indiana. Purdue University has frozen their tuition rates for 10 straight years now. In-state undergrad tuition comes in at about $10,000. At Indiana University, tuition is about $11,000 per academic year. Ball State tuition is about $8,000 and IUP-wide tuition is about $10,000. At a private school like Butler University, tuition is about $42,000 per year. It's also important to note that these are just the tuition numbers and they don't include things like room and board. Megan.
Lauren, more funding has been approved to help people in Marion County with their rent. Last night, the City County Council unanimously passed a proposal to use $29 million in federal money for rental assistance. Officials are now working to make sure the Indy Rent Assistance portal and application system is in compliance with federal guidelines. The council also approved up to $10 million for local Paycheck Protection Program loans.
Indiana lawmakers are debating doubling the state's cigarette tax. The proposal discussed by the Indiana House Committee would add $1 to the state's current 99.5-cent per pack cigarette tax. This would be the first time the tax has been increased since 2007. It has backing from many health organizations as a way to discourage smoking and reduce the state's high smoking rate. The bill would also add a new state 39% tax on vaping liquids. Lawmakers are now debating where that additional revenue would go. A vote on this bill was delayed and it could come next week. Raphael.
Let's talk about stress, because stress from the pandemic could be taking a toll on your oral health. And here are the details. This morning, a local dentist tells us that she has seen about a 60% increase in the number of patients with either cracked teeth, clenching, and jaw pain. She says often when people experience stress, they clench or they grind their teeth, and that can lead to major issues down the line if not treated properly. She says she's been prescribing more day and night guards to patients and says it's key that everyone continues to go to their regular dental exams.
A lot of times there can be things going on in your mouth that are causing problems that you can't feel yet.
And to keep people safe and to prevent the spread of COVID-19 in the office, Dr. Williams says they use a cold fogger that you see there between procedures and a medical UV light tower in exam rooms. They also have a hospital-grade air filtration system to keep all patients safe. Megan?
Raphael, hiring Hoosiers is our initiative to connect you to open jobs right now. And thousands of Hoosiers are looking for a job during the pandemic, and one program is stepping in to help. WRTV's Troy Washington joins us live now to explain how the program called Yes Indy is giving young people the chance to find their passion. Good morning, Troy.
Good morning. Yeah, this program for some is downright life-changing. It's helping young people ages 16 to 24, especially right now during this pandemic. A lot of people need some direction, and that's important.
You may not know where you're going to go, but you know your passion, you know you want to do something different, and then it's up to us to help you navigate your way.
Now, this is a part of the city's employee program. Later on in the show, we'll talk to a gentleman who he knew that he wanted to pursue a truck driving career. Now through this program, he's getting that chance. Reporting live downtown, I'm Troy Washington, WRTV.
Troy, thank you. 911 dispatchers are really a lifeline for those in need. Coming up, I'll show you the opportunities the Indianapolis Fire Department has available in our Hiring Hoosiers. Todd?
And Lauren, it's still a few days away, but I want to make sure you know about the Arctic blast that'll be heading our way as we work our way into the weekend. Temperatures the next couple days will be at or above normal, but by the time we get to the weekend, we're talking about highs only in the single digits in teens with wind chills well below zero. We'll break it all down for you coming up in your WRTV Storm Team forecast.
Welcome back. It is 6:14. We are monitoring that breaking news from our crew. Shay Goodpaster at the scene here of where a truck flipped over on its side southbound I-65 as you're trying to get off on the collector ramp, Ohio and Michigan Street, right here in the downtown area. Really snarling traffic as you're heading southbound on I-65 from northwest sides into downtown. We're learning this is some sort of intermodal trailer. It was not hauling anything at the time, crews believe, in the trailer, so no mess in that regard, but they do have to bring something in to upright this truck, as you can see here, that is on its side. The driver in this vehicle was not injured. However, a woman in a passenger car that was also involved was transported to Eskenazi Hospital. Not believed too serious of injuries there. That is what we're learning from troopers and crews there working to clear this at the scene. They also tell us that they may have to close the interstate completely at some point this morning as they work to upright that vehicle. And this is a look at the backup this is causing. So I would just avoid the interstate if you can, southbound I-65 if you're heading into downtown or heading through downtown from the northwest sides. Of course, we'll keep you updated. Here at 6:15 Hiring Hoosiers is our initiative to connect you with open jobs that are available right now. First responders are needed to help Indianapolis Fire in emergency situations. And these folks working behind the scenes of 911 calls can really be your lifeline in your most desperate moments.
There is no such thing as a normal day. Every single call is different, and no two calls are alike. What's your phone number, sir?
We hear their steady voices over scanner traffic.
There are some days that are calm, and there are some days that are chaotic.
WRTV stopped by the IFD Communications Center in Indianapolis.
There's a lot that goes on in this room. I'm going to get someone dispatched for him. He hasn't had any flu or COVID-like symptoms.
Where telecommunicators like Penitra Graves took one of those quiet moments to speak with us.
It's not always as quiet.
She's worked here since August 2010, answering emergency calls and dispatching crews.
It takes a lot of patience, compassion, and multitasking.
At full staff, the center has 34 telecommunicators, including Graves, who is a lifeline in what can be one of the scariest moments in your life.
I've had a person in a grain silo. I've had a major incident where someone had to be lifeline from the scene of a vehicle accident.
So here in Marion County, when an emergency call comes into the dispatch center, it's first sent over here to the police side by law, the Marion County Sheriff's Office. They'll then transfer it over to the Indianapolis Fire Department communications side if it's fire or EMS related. The most important thing for you to remember, if you're being transferred, stay on the line.
Well, and we become literally a lifeline. And that's a lifeline to the citizens that are calling in. We can even be that lifeline to the responders.
Cheryl Stevenson is the operations manager. She's worked here for 17 years, but the duty of being a first responder for citizens of Indianapolis is in her blood.
My mom suggested it to me. She was one of the first female and civilian dispatchers ever hired by IFD many years ago.
Her father, an Indianapolis firefighter.
I realized on day one that I found home, that this is something that I feel good about what I do.
And while they don't always discover the final outcome of an emergency situation, both Graves and Stevenson know that they make a difference every day on the job.
That is the most rewarding part of the position.
But it takes the right person to be that hero, and the center is looking for a number of Hoosiers ready to step into that important role.
Great listening skills,
being able to communicate with people when they are having the worst day of their life.
Show them through your voice, through your tone, that they have reached somebody who cares.
Really important position to help all of us here. So anyone applying needs a high school diploma or GED, and they're going to train you on the more specific tasks. And remember, this is a 24/7 operation, 365 days of year. So there is great job security, even in a pandemic, great benefits, but you also have to be flexible when it comes to holidays and working various shifts. For a link to apply and for more information, just click on this story. It's at hiringhoosiers.com. Raphael.
And Lauren, we have more Hiring Hoosiers on this Tuesday morning. Junior Achievement of Central Indiana is all about getting young people, teenagers, to think about those jobs in high demand in the future. The group is kicking off their 2021 efforts focused on another year of career exploration. Of course, this year being done online because of the pandemic.
Understanding how important it is to be on top of your game every day. That means when you go to school with a purpose. You go with a plan. You have a passion for not just today, but for tomorrow and for your future.
A Junior Achievement of Central Indiana recently received a $319,000 grant from the Lilly Endowment. That money will be used to support youth-related career exploration programs throughout Central Indiana. Time now to check your forecast on this Tuesday. Todd Clausen stepped outside for a second, ran back inside because it reminded me that it's really winter here in Indianapolis.
I knew you wouldn't last out there that long, Raphael. As soon as you opened the door, I knew where that was going. Wait till this upcoming weekend as we have bitter cold temperatures heading our way. More on that in just a second. This morning as you walk out the door, skies are mainly clear across most of the area, but here are the temperatures that Raphael was alluding to. 15 in Kokomo right now, 16 in Muncie, 19 in Shelbyville, 20 is the current temperature in Indy, but when you factor in the wind, it feels like 10 in the Circle City as well as Peru. 6 is what it feels like in Muncie. Definitely a morning you really need to bundle up as the kids head off to the bus stop. Try to limit their time outside. Maybe wait with them in the car if possible here this morning, as temperatures won't really climb much more here throughout the morning hours. Once the sun comes up, we'll slowly start to climb back up to right around 30 degrees as we head into the noon hour. There's a little bit of cloud cover on the far western part of the state. The good news is, though, we are done with the precipitation for at least a little while. We had the rain and the snow over the course of the weekend, and then this is the massive snowstorm that's making its way up the East Coast. You can see there's still some snow. The intensity is not there like it was yesterday, but there's lots of coastal flooding and lots of wind out there. I checked in with my family in northeast Jersey last night right around 8 o'clock, and they had around 20 inches of snow. Here's my niece and my 2 nephews in the driveway, and look at the pile of snow behind them there, and also lots of trees were starting to come down with the heavy wet snow, and that wind is starting to kick up. So if you do have travel plans out in that direction, make sure you check with your airline. Temperatures here closer to home will top off right around the freezing mark in northern locations as well as central locations here throughout the day today, with skies that will eventually become mostly cloudy, and then in southern locations temperatures will be in the mid-30s for your afternoon highs. This evening it's cold, but it's quiet with temperatures that'll be in the mid-20s, and then we get to the day tomorrow, and tomorrow's not a bad day. We get the sunshine back, not for a short period of time like today, but an extended period of time. Basically the whole day we'll have sunshine tomorrow with temperatures in the 30s, and then we get to Thursday. As you can kind of see, this pretty active pattern here. It may start off as a little bit of a wintry mix mid-morning on Thursday, but then temperatures should climb up into the 40s by Thursday afternoon. So this will mainly be a rain event, but on the backside of it, we'll start to bring in the colder temperatures once again, and that could change everything over to a little bit of light snow as we head into the course of Friday morning. But you saw that last graphic there before the 7-day. That was showing you the wind chill values that were going to be in place by the time we get to Sunday and Monday, and you noticed they all had a negative sign in front of them. So actual temperatures Sunday and Monday morning will be below zero. Wind chill values, Lauren, could be as cold as -30 degrees by the time you walk out the door Monday morning to start the new work week. week.
All right, Todd, thank you. We want to get back to that breaking news that could impact your commute on this Tuesday. This is the overturned semi there. You can see it on the right side of your screen. It's blocking the right lanes as you're traveling southbound on 65 into the downtown area. So impacting drivers heading south past Meridian Street into the collector ramp at Ohio and Michigan Street. So you can see traffic is still getting by slowly in that one left lane. And crews at the scene, we're learning from our photographer Shay Goodpaster giving us that shot. They are working to clear this, but they'll have to bring in some equipment to upright the vehicle. You can see the back up that this is causing, the view there at West Street and MLK. So slow going, avoid the interstate to avoid this major delay, and pay attention because we do have all the crews and troopers out there working the scene, working to clear this mess for the rush hour. We'll keep you updated on when they may have to close the interstate entirely there to clear this truck, and we'll have that for you later this morning. For now, we'll be right back after the break with your local stories.
RTV.
Welcome back. It is 6:26. We're still monitoring this overturned semi that's on I-65 heading southbound into the collector ramp. You can see it there from our camera. This is the backup that this is causing. And so as you're traveling through downtown from the northwest side, I would get off the interstate if you can, just to avoid these backups and delays as far back as, 30th Street, 21st Street in that area. Use MLK, use Lafayette Road, some other roads heading in from the northwest side instead of Interstate 65. We do know that they may have to close the interstate eventually this morning as they work to upright that vehicle, and we'll continue to check in with our photographer Shay Goodpaster at the scene. But right now, guys, it is time to talk about what's trending at 6 o'clock. So Raphael, why don't you kick us off?
Let me take you down to sunny Tampa with a story that's going to really make you smile. You see, students at one Tampa elementary school were asked to wear a t-shirt of their favorite team. And so for 8-year-old Julian Casillas, that's the Buccaneers. But he did not have a shirt, so Julian made one with sticky notes. His teacher took a photo and sent it to the Buccaneers. And after seeing it, the team sent him a new Jason Pierre-Paul jersey and a video from the linebacker. The Buccaneers, as you know, are heading to the Super Bowl, and Julian predicts that they will win with how many points, Julian? Yeah, Julian says with 300 points. That's a lot of points, but all right, Julian, do your thing.
Love it.
Oh, I love how they gave him a shirt. That's great. And Kansas City Chiefs fans are also getting their gear in order for this weekend's big game. Fans call QB Patrick Mahomes the GOAT, or greatest of all time. So they decided to get dressed up and take pictures with the actual barnyard animal. They waited in long lines just to pose with the baby goats. And Kansas City will take on Tampa Bay, of course, in Super Bowl 55 this Sunday. I think the goat is really cute.
Yeah. That's a cute little girl.
Yeah. I'm a
Love
fan.
that. Okay, guys, it is a big day. Will we have 6 more weeks of winter or an early spring? Today we may have the answer, if you trust the groundhog, that is. Punxsutawney Phil will wake up from his hibernation this morning to give us the forecast. Legend has it that the groundhog, if he sees his shadow when he comes out, will have 6 more weeks of winter. If he doesn't, then spring will be here soon. This year's reveal will be virtual because of the pandemic. So Todd, I don't know if Punxsutawney can power up his Zoom okay. He's usually not very excited about this day. He's kind of grumpy, so I don't know.
He always looks like grumpy. But my favorite Groundhog Day is, you probably can Google it, the New York City mayor. I know it's not Punxsutawney.
Yes.
He tried to pick up the groundhog, and it was like trying to run away from him. So.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. It's out there if you want to search for it. But never trust a groundhog. That's the bottom line. All right. But I love Groundhog Day, the movie. It's one of my favorites. All right. Outside right now, temperatures are in the teens and 20s across the area. 16 in Muncie as well as Richmond, 20 in Martinsville as well as Indianapolis, 22 in Bloomington. Temperatures once again very similar to yesterday. They don't really do a whole lot. We will have some sunshine here though this morning, which is nice. Hopefully melts a little bit of that snow away. And then as we get into the afternoon hours, temperatures get back up to right around freezing, but skies will be mostly cloudy. The good news is also no precipitation in the forecast today. It'll be dry from start to finish, so just bundle up a little bit here as you walk out the door this Tuesday morning.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Good morning on this Tuesday. This is your news feed. One person in critical condition following a shooting on the northwest side of Indianapolis. The shooting happened just before 9 Monday evening on Mission Terrace. That's in the Woodhaven Apartments near 38th and High School Road. Metro Police have not said what led up to that gunfire.
Bloomington police say that a woman found dead after an apartment fire is a homicide victim. This fire happened around 9:30 Thursday evening on Basswood Drive. The Monroe County coroner says 32-year-old Teresa Michael was found strangled. Investigators have not released the cause of the fire.
A probationary officer with IMPD is off the job following a summons arrest in Boone County. Chief Randall Taylor says he fired the officer after he was arrested on reckless driving and marijuana charges. The officer was assigned to the Northwest District. He had been with Metro Police for just 1 year.
For the second year in a row, the St. Patrick's Day Parade will not happen in downtown Indianapolis. The parade organizers say the coronavirus pandemic is behind the cancellation. The annual St. Patrick's Tent Party and the Shamrock Run are also canceled. However, the greening of the downtown canal will still happen this year.
And we do want to thank you for joining our team here on this Tuesday. We're going to get to that breaking news, a semi-crash that's impacting traffic downtown in just a few minutes. But first, it is Groundhog Day, so let's go over to our own Punxsutawney Todd for the true forecast. Todd, I just have a feeling like we're going to be in winter for a long time with how cold it is outside today.
No matter what the Groundhog says today, I can tell you that we are trending colder as we go into the weekend, as we're going to get an Arctic blast. Hey, but fingers crossed, the sees its shadow or doesn't see its shadow, and then we get an early spring. But that's to be told down the line here. All right, temperatures outside right now are in the 20s, 20 in Indy, 22 in Bloomington. Not much of a wind this morning. It's only about 5 to 10 miles per hour, but it's out of that cold northwesterly direction, and that is putting wind chills down in the single digits in some areas. A little bit of cloud cover here off to the west. You notice 2/3 of the state as you work your way eastward, dealing with clear skies. So that's the best opportunity for some sunshine here this morning, but ultimately the clouds will start to fill in as the day goes on. The brightest part of the day is going to be the first half of the day, then mostly cloudy. As far as temperatures, low 20s here this morning. Once we get that sun up, though, we will see our temperatures eventually level off right around the freezing mark. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look right now at the backup from that truck flipping over as you're trying to get on the collector ramp heading southbound on I-65 into the North Split. This is a view back at West Street and MLK where you can see just a stop traffic, really just a parking lot out there. Both northbound and southbound pretty backed up this morning, but especially those southbound lanes as drivers are working to navigate slowly around that in the left lane that's open. The backup is growing this morning, and the lane closure looks like starts all the way back near the hospital system. So if you can get off the interstate before then, maybe avoid the interstate altogether if you're coming in from the northwest side and trying to get into downtown or through downtown this morning. We'll keep you updated, as we do know they will have to close the interstate, it sounds like, to upright that trailer at some point this morning. So this past weekend with the winter weather, it's impacting our area schools. We know dozens of area districts have either delayed or canceled classes for the day. Brown County schools, they are closed, while Marion, Peru, Northwest Hendricks, and Tipton schools are among those that are on a 2-hour delay. You can check out the complete list of school closings and cancellations right now. It's scrolling at the bottom of your screen. You can also see the full list on the WRTV mobile app. Raphael?
Since December 2018, it's been WRTV's commitment to connect you to jobs as well as training programs through our Hiring Hoosiers initiative. And we know that the struggle is real out there when it comes to keeping and finding jobs because of this pandemic. WRTV's Troy Washington is live with Warner Group, helping to help young people develop a career path. Troy, good morning.
Good morning. The program is called Youth Employment Services, better known as YES, and it's helping young people between the ages of 16 and 24 get and keep a job during the pandemic, and we all know that's very important. We talked to a gentleman who wanted to pursue a career in truck driving, and through this program, he's been able to do that.
People want to move forward, but they don't know what step to take or what to do first. When you got somebody there to help you, help you figure out what's a good step to take. Especially even sometimes when you take the wrong step or you figure out that that's not for you or you need somewhere to fall back on, they're there to help. So it's like, I feel like it changed lives.
Now, this program is for those who are already out of school. If you don't know exactly where you're headed, but you do have some passion, they say they'll work with you. Reporting live downtown, I'm Troy Washington, WRTV.
Troy, thank you. It is 6:34 and our Hiring Hoosiers coverage continues this morning as public schools right here in Indiana and across the country we know are having a really tough time filling teaching positions, Megan.
That's right, Lauren. This morning I look at how Ivy Tech is helping Hoosiers go from campus to a career in the classroom.
For Jim Moore, IndyCar and race days were his life. Moore spent years on the racetrack when a layoff brought his work in the pits to a pit stop.
I was really nervous to go back to school because it had been almost 30 years.
But going back to school meant going to Ivy Tech's 2-year education certificate program. Looking back, Moore says it was a natural fit from his work as a race car mechanic.
They would put the younger mechanics with me, and then I would show them the ways of the team, and, how to build the race cars.
Now Moore's using his certificate to pursue his bachelor's degree at Western Governors University, or WGU, to become a full-time teacher.
They said, I have never seen someone come so prepared. Like, I am going in with 60 credits, and that's due in part to Ivy Tech and their program.
We think we have the best faculty. We think we have one of the best programs. And why spend more money going to a more expensive institution when you can get a great, an excellent education with us?
That's Andrew Buckle. He's the program chair for Ivy Tech's education program. Buckle also teaches and has dedicated his life to education.
What better job to have a platform to make a big change? It's positive and encouraging.
It's a calling he says Hoosiers depend on.
From a moving Indiana forward standpoint, we need teachers. We just need them.
But Buckle says the pandemic has made Ivy Tech's education program even more valuable. Classes are virtual right now, but students can do service learning in person. So the institution partners future teachers with tutoring programs for a hands-on experience that gives back to neighborhood schools.
So we've tried to be as flexible with our student needs while also trying to provide some support to our schools and our local community partnerships.
It's quite fitting, the teacher of the future. Like, we're just always adapting and trying to become better teachers and trying to make learning easier for the student. So it's exciting.
Micah Jones also graduated from Ivy Tech's education program, and he says it helped cut the cost of college and gave him transferable skills.
And you're getting the same education, or even sometimes better, because it's smaller classrooms.
In both of their opinions, education means job security, and it's a career they're passionate about.
I would highly recommend Ivy Tech.
The next set of classes starts in March, but you can apply to enroll now. We have a link to do that on hiringhoosiers.com.
These new variants are more contagious, so you need to protect yourself and your family and your community.
This morning, the local company keeping a close eye on the COVID-19 variants. The testing, they say, is providing key information about the changing virus. Lauren?
And payments on federal student loans have been suspended until March. Working for you, we're looking at how you can take advantage of these paused payments. It is 6:37. We'll be right back.
Infokit.com.
Welcome back. We are still monitoring breaking news from that overturned truck that took place at the collector ramp area, southbound I-65 here at the North Split. This is a view of the backup and the lanes blocked here at West Street and MLK. So avoid I-65 heading through the downtown area from the north and northwest sides to avoid these major backups. And we also know at some point this morning they may have to close that interstate completely to upright that vehicle. Raphael?
You can also follow Lauren on Twitter to get all the late-breaking details. Lauren, thank you so much. A Central Indiana private lab says it can now detect the new COVID-19 variants. ARIA Diagnostics has been testing people for months, either using a nasal or a mouthwash test to detect COVID-19. Now, the Indy-based company says it will be able to pinpoint if someone has also been infected by the variants, now being traced back to Brazil, the United Kingdom, and South Africa.
If I know something, I can take action.
That's right. I feel like it's almost a year ago where there's still so many unknowns and that we really just need to be cautious. I think we need to treat every positive, every symptom as potentially contagious and just be careful.
For now, ARIA says the nasal test, its nasal test, and nasal tests in general are really the best way to detect COVID-19 and its now many variants. Megan?
Good to know. Thank you, Raphael. And Americans owe roughly $1.7 trillion in federal student loan debts.
And this morning, WRTV's own Kelsey Anderson is taking a look at how the government's pause on payments could impact you. Kelsey?
Whether your federal student loan debt is enough to buy a small house or a small SUV, those payments and interest have been put on pause for the last 10 months, and that will continue through September.
So I think the pause is great, and it needs to be done for as long as things are shut down and people can't make a good living, like they can't go out and do their jobs.
Brad Karen is a PhD student at Indiana University. He says in 5 years of schooling, he's racked up quite a bit of debt, and the pause of his federal loans has been nice, but it didn't cover his private loans.
So it was kind of a mixture of, oh great, some of my loans I don't have to worry about, but the others, like full price, let's go.
The Trump administration began the pause on federal student loans in March when the pandemic began, and President Biden requested it be continued through September, interest-free. Payments for the nearly $1.7 trillion in student loan debt are currently set to resume in October. Now, on top of the pause in payments, President Biden is proposing a $10,000 forgiveness for all federal student loan borrowers, something Karen thinks is a step in the right direction.
The student loan forgiveness, I think the idea is good. I don't think in principle or in practice it's good enough.
His main concern is that the proposal doesn't address private student loans or federal graduate student loans. I also spoke with Jeremiah Wheatley, an area firefighter going through the Adult Accelerated Program at University of Indianapolis. He believes it shouldn't be someone else's burden to pay for his volunteer student loan debt.
My area that I work in, a lot of individuals that I serve in the public aren't going to be able to attend college, at least without scholarships or other assistance. So I don't feel it necessary that they should be burdened with my choice of going into adult education and trying to better myself later on down the road.
Now, both gentlemen agree that the problem starts in high school, and there should be career planning to know if college is the right path for each student. They also say the problem comes from colleges charging too much for tuition. Working for you, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you. Now, this is important. Experts say if you are still able to make those pre-pandemic payments, you should. Since there's no interest being collected on those right now, payments will go directly to what you owe. Raphael?
A semi forced to make a pit stop, Lauren, and the unexpected request that put a Jay County High School graduate into action. Details next, but first, your forecast on this Tuesday morning. Hey, Todd.
Raphael, good morning to you. It's chilly out there this morning with temperatures that are in the teens and 20s, but the coldest temperature that I have in my 7-day planning forecast, and this is not a typo, is -8 degrees. We'll let you know when that arrives coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
AdviseIndy.com.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. We're still monitoring this traffic issue for drivers heading into the downtown area from the north and northwest sides. This is impacting traffic at the North Split as we have an overturned trailer there, and they're working to upright that, but they may have to close the whole interstate eventually this morning. So we'll keep you updated on that, but avoid this spot if you can. You can see it's just a parking lot out there as you're heading in the southbound direction, and that collector ramp as you're trying to get on Ohio Street. That area is where the crash happens. You'll need to avoid that spot this morning. We'll keep you updated, Megan.
Truly a parking lot, Lauren, thank you. And there are many choices when it comes to delivering a baby. Some want a midwife, while others prefer a doctor, Raphael.
And some people just don't get a choice. You see, a couple had to pull over their semi to greet their bundle of joy.
Sure enough, baby was coming.
Thomas Mamie had no time to call for backup.
I talked to her and, telling her to push and breathe and trying to keep her calm and keep myself calm and everything else.
The state trooper is a 2003 graduate of Jay County High School in Portland. The Army sergeant served his country for 7 years with combat deployments in Afghanistan and Kosovo. He credits his military and law enforcement training for making sure this baby was delivered safely along the toll road on January 15th.
You just have to be prepared for anything, whether whether somebody's a cop or a school teacher or what the case may be. You never know what situation you're going to find yourself in, and you always have to be ready and prepared for any situation.
One more look at the baby, named Malachi Thomas Robertson, delivered in a semi. His middle name, Thomas, inspired by Trooper Thomas Mamie. And by the way, Malachi weighed in at 6 pounds, 3 ounces. He's very healthy. The baby's mom expressed her gratitude to the trooper and to EMS by saying that we were all troopers on that day. Again, the family is doing well. And Todd Clausen, I think that Mrs. Sanchez has had me watch enough Grey's Anatomy and General Hospital that if that were to happen in I-70 or I-74 or US 31, I think I could help someone, maybe. Possibly. We'll have to see.
I'm not sure I would want you showing up unless it was desperate measures, Raphael. No offense to you, but I would hope
emergency, Todd.
I would hope to see the flashing lights behind me before Rafael Sanchez walked up and opened the door. But in case of emergency, I trust your judgment. So, all right. Outside right now, we are dealing with quiet and cold conditions across the area. We are sitting at officially 20 degrees in Indianapolis. Feels like 10 right now with the wind out of the northwest at 8 miles per hour. As far as what it feels like across the area, the actual temperatures are in the teens and 20s, but it really feels like it's in the single digits to about 10 degrees in Peru. 9 is what it feels like right now in Columbus, 6 in Muncie, 17 over in the Terre Haute area. High temperatures today will generally be right around freezing in most locations, but this is what it's going to feel like throughout the entire day. These are your wind chill values, and you notice even as we get into the heart of the afternoon hours, it's really still only going to feel right around 20 degrees. Definitely bundle up throughout the course of the day today, and I do think we have a little bit of sunshine to start the day. You notice a little bit of cloud cover here off to the west, but most of central Indiana is going to be enjoying some sunshine here, at least to start the day. Here's this major nor'easter on the east coast. The heaviest of the snow is over, but there's still a lot of wind. There's probably going to still be residual delays if you have a flight to New York area airports, Boston, even into the Philadelphia area. So make sure you check with your airline if you're traveling in that direction. Now, tomorrow's going to be a decent day for us across the area. We have sunshine tomorrow from start to finish. Temperatures starting off in the teens and 20s again, finishing right around 33 to about 36 degrees for your high temperature as we work your way into Wednesday. And it's probably honestly the best day of the week. As we get into Thursday, our next storm system is going to arrive. At the onset, once again, there could be a little bit of a wintry mix, but it should go over to rain showers pretty quickly throughout the day on Thursday because temperatures Thursday will be topping off in the low 40s across most of the area. With the combination of temperatures in the 40s and the rain, we shouldn't melt away most of the snow that we have out there, although there will be a little bit of snow on the backside of the system as the cold air comes in. Now, the big weather story in this forecast is going to be the wind chill values. This is Sunday morning, and you notice everybody's dealing with wind chill values below zero, from about -10 to about -30 degrees. And the core of this real Arctic air is going to be in place throughout the afternoon hours on Sunday and then into Monday morning. And you notice the wind chill values still, even as we head into Monday morning, are going to be anywhere from that 10 to 30 degree below zero range, as actual temperatures will be below zero both Sunday morning and Monday morning as well. It's the first real big push of Arctic air that we have seen so far this winter season. And it's going to be almost about 2 years since we've been below zero in Indianapolis. So we will probably do that over the course of the weekend. Just kind of prepare yourself. But a couple quiet days here today and tomorrow before we get to that real cold Arctic air. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thank you. Want to get back to that traffic alert we're monitoring here in the downtown area. Again, southbound I-65. That's the right side of your screen as you're heading into the downtown area and the north split. The overturned semi is in the right lanes near the collector ramp to Ohio Street. So you'll want to avoid this area completely if you can, because you can see it is going at a snail's pace this morning as drivers have to squeeze into one left lane this morning. We'll continue to keep you updated on this, plus any other traffic issues and your weather coming up after the break. Stick around.
On 96th Street.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Still monitoring a traffic alert for drivers heading into the downtown area. The right side of your screen, that's southbound I-65 heading into the North Split from the northwest sides of town. We have a semi that is on its side there as you're approaching the collector ramp, and that is creating this major backup. And we know from troopers at the scene, eventually they may have to close the entire interstate to upright the semi. They usually do that after the rush hour. Something else I want to know, as you're traveling in the opposite direction, maybe you're coming in from the east side along westbound I-70, that's starting to get backed up as well, just likely to people rubbernecking, looking over at what's going on the other side of the road. So just keep this in mind. Avoid this spot if you can this morning. I'm also monitoring another crash right now on I-74 out near Acton Road, impacting westbound traffic, creating delays. So give yourself some extra time this morning. Raphael?
Make sure to follow Lauren on Twitter as well as the WRTV app. And as before you head out the door, let's check on your forecast with our Todd Clausen. Hey, TK.
Yeah, Raphael, it's a cold but decent day for us here by February standards across the area. High temperatures generally going to be right around the freezing mark with some sunshine here this morning and then mostly cloudy skies this afternoon. Quiet tomorrow, some rain on Thursday, then an Arctic blast of air comes in by the end of the week.
We're back in 25 minutes and throughout Good Morning America, the latest news, weather, and traffic updates. Remember to keep with WRTV as we go into this afternoon.